The game and the teams going on in the background here has nothing to do with any of the basketball that happened today. But I don't really have time to record a whole other clip, so don't get upset. Moving on. We got a lot to talk about. Let me just start with the first game of the day. We got Heat versus Hawks. Not gonna lie, I only watched the fourth quarter of this game, as well as most of the other games, except I watched more of Suns versus Pelicans, so I'll give more in-depth coverage of that, but I didn't watch a good amount of this game. A good amount of this game, I did indeed skip. Or not skip, but I just didn't watch. But I was able to catch some of it, and pretty much really what happened in the series was the Heat defense really showed out, man. The Heat defense was amazing. They played amazing defense, especially covering Trey. DeAndre Hunter was having a bit of a breakout series. He was really in this series the best player on their team because the Heat completely clamped up Trey. Like, they had Trey on lockdown. They had Trey in Alcatraz. They had Trey just not contributing at all for his team. And when you take away the best player on this team, you got John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, Clint Capella, Onyeka Okongwu. I don't even know if Clint was there, and so you got Bogdan, who of course was doing amazing in the few games, and Kevin Huerter, who was doing decent. But really, if you take away Trey, that takes away the rest of the team. Especially when you have a team with Jimmy Butler, who they didn't even have today, and Kyle Lowry, Victor Oladipo, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Max Strus. So many scoring options, and the Hawks defense is below average. And when you put a team with a decent offense and above average defense, a really good defense, I should say just amazing defense, versus a team with an offense that kind of revolved around one player and bad defense, the team with the better offense, the decent offense and better defense is going to win. So, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much what I'm trying to say, the Heat had better defense, and that's why they won the series. Of course, you could even see it on the last play. First, they were inbounding it, 5 seconds left. They had to take a timeout because they couldn't inbound the ball to anybody. And then, the next time they didn't have any timeouts left, they had to pass it in. So they passed it in, but it got stolen. Adebayo had it, and that was the series. So the Heat will move on. Trae Young's out. Second team to get eliminated. At least they didn't get swept like the Nets. It's actually kind of funny. The Hawks got a playoff win, and the Nets didn't. So, that's kind of interesting, but yeah, the Heat were expected to move on. I don't think anybody really had the Hawks beating the Heat in round one, except for the really hopeful people. Maybe some people had it going to 7 because Trae Young's really good, but the Heat defense was too much for him, and in the end, the team with the better defense won. So, you know what I'm saying? GG's. And who the Heat are going to face up with either Toronto or Philly in the second round. In my opinion, probably going to be Toronto, but you never know. Philly could do it, but I'm hoping and I'm predicting that's going to be Toronto. Moving on, we got the shout out to DeAndre Hunter, by the way, in case I already did say it, but I just want to say shout out to him because he had a pretty good series. Moving on, we have Timberwolves, Grizzlies, and Ja was extremely clutch in this one. I don't know how many points he had, not gonna lie, but I know he had a really good game. Brandon Clark was amazing on the offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, but mainly offensive rebounds. I really gotta say about offensive rebounds, I always saw Brandon Clark near the basket fighting for that rebound, and that was really good to see because he didn't give up on the play, and that's what you're supposed to do. It's playoff time. In the words of Pelicans coach Willie Green, you gotta fight. And Brandon Clark was fighting out there, man. He had, I'm pretty sure it was 12 rebounds, and I could be wrong on that, but I know he had a lot of rebounds, a lot of second chance points, and the Grizzlies dominated when it came to that. So that was one factor that helped him get this win. And of course, the game winner. At first, it was Anthony Edwards, right? He was about to be the man who saved the night. He hit that corner three that tied the game with 5 seconds left. And now the Grizzlies take their last timeout. They need a bucket. They give it to their best player, Ja Morant, and he gets to the basket, gets a nice, easy layup. Well, not exactly easy, but he gets a layup and clinches the game. There's 1 second left. Karl-Anthony Towns has to throw a full court heave. Not good. And that's the series. Just like that, the Grizzlies take a 3-2 lead. Crucial win, especially because the game 5s usually end up dictating who's going to win the series in a good amount of the series. Because I saw one stat, or it was it was like the record for for teams who won the game 5 in that series was it was something like 180 to like 39 or something. So the point of the thing was to say, and it was an 82% chance. So the point of the thing is to say there's an 82% chance that if you win the game 5, you're gonna win the series. And I think in both game 5s today, that was shown. Actually, all 3 game 5s today, that was shown, because the team that won every game 5 is probably gonna end up winning the series, in my opinion. But the Timberwolves really just got to learn how to finish. They had a good lead. They were up by like 13 points. They had a 13-point lead over the Grizzlies, and then the Grizzlies came back. And this is the second lead they've blown. Not as big as the first one that they blew in like game 3, but or was it game 3? No, it was game 4. It's not. No, was it game 2? Not gonna lie, I forgot which game it was, but I know that the Timberwolves blew a lead, and it was really bad. If they could learn to stop blowing leads, then I think they could definitely be a better team, and maybe they'd even be up in the series right now. But they still are a young team, so I'll give them an exception. They're a young team. They got a lot of young guys. Patrick Beverley's really their main veteran. All the other guys are pretty young. I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns isn't that young anymore, but in my eyes, he's still young. Cause like, you know, I remember when he was drafted and he got into the league, but he's still young in my eyes. Cause it's like he just got drafted like 2 weeks ago or something, man. His time goes so fast, and now he's like a 7-year player. So, you know, but my point is, this team is still young. They're still growing. They're still learning. It's their first playoff run. And next year, hopefully, they can come back with more fight. And you could say the same thing about both teams that lost today. Well, actually, all 3. Well, not really all 3, because the Hawks made the conference finals last year. But the Pelicans and the Timberwolves. As I transition over to the next game, it's a nice little transition. You see what I did there. The Pelicans, you really want to see what they're going to do next year. Because this year is great. But you really are waiting to see what they could do next year. And, or at least that's what I'm doing, because next year the Pelicans have a lot of potential to be great. They got CJ, of course, Brandon Ingram. Let me just actually talk about the game first. Started out fine, Pelicans, and it was a pretty close game, but then the Suns started to pull away. Chris Paul started going off, and they took a while to sub in Jose Alvarado. I really think they should have subbed him in before, because he really takes energy out of Chris Paul, makes him tired, and that's what they could have used in this game, especially when Chris Paul made some clutch plays down the stretch. But it wasn't just Chris Paul. DeAndre Ayton had a great game. He was dominating down low in the paint, beating up on Valanciunas at some points, beating up on Jackson Hayes, beating up on I'm pretty sure it might have been Herb Jones. He was just going to work on a lot of people, and it was working. He was getting points for his team, and they were winning. So, you know what I'm saying? That was good. And you cannot forget about the impact that Jay Crowder had in this game, the impact Cameron Payne had in this game, the impact Cameron Johnson had in this game, the impact that Mikal Bridges had in this game, Mikal Bridges on both ends of the floor. He was hitting some clutch shots, making great defensive plays, getting steals and blocks. He played an amazing game, and he had a big role in this win for the Suns. You can't forget about Jay Crowder. Hit some big shots at the beginning of the third quarter to help give them a bigger lead. And the crazy thing is, I left the game when the Suns had a big lead to like go shower, and I came back and it was like a 7-point game. I was like, wait, what? How did they come back? And the Pelicans showed fight. They did fight. They did what Willie Green told them to do, but it was not enough, and in the end the first seed won, and this is probably going to end up being the last chance the Pelicans had to win the series. I think that the Suns can take care of business in Game 6. If the Pelicans won this game, they'd had a very high chance of winning the series, because in Game 6, that's on their home floor, and that would be very crucial to them. So, for them winning the series, that's what I'm trying to say. So, that would be really good, but they sadly didn't win, and I mean, really, I'm just waiting till next year. Jose Alvarado still a rookie, Herb Jones still a rookie, Brandon Ingram still kind of young. I guess you could say he's young, but he was drafted in 2016, and he's been in the league for just about 6 years. So everybody's old at this point. Then there's also, who else? You got CJ. He's not that young, but he's still like, he could be that little veteran guy on the team. Same for Jonas Valanciunas. He could be that veteran guy on their team, or one of the veteran guys on their team. There's a lot of other guys. Najee Marshall. There's I'm forgetting the names right now, but there are a lot of young guys on this team. They got potential. Zion. Zion. When Zion comes back too, can't forget about that. So I'm really just wanting to see what this team can do when they're at full strength, when their guys are a bit more developed, because you could see in some points this game, Jose was missing some wide open threes, Herb Jones was missing some wide open shots, Ingram was even missing some free throws, and they still do need a bit of developing. But if they could get some good development coaches to come to this team and help their young guys get better, this could definitely be a scary team in the future. So I definitely think this Pelicans team has potential, but right now it looks like the Suns are going to move on to the next round, even without their best player, Devin Booker. The Suns will move on, and yeah, I guess that's all we got to talk about. Tomorrow there's Warriors Nuggets, pretty sure Bucks Bulls, Warriors Nuggets, and Bucks Bulls. Those might be the only ones. It would have been Celtics Nets, but it's not. So Warriors Nuggets, Bucks Bulls. Are there any other series? Maybe Jazz Mavericks, but I'd have to check. I'm pretty sure Jazz Mavericks isn't happening tomorrow. It's either tomorrow or Thursday, but I'm pretty sure. No, tomorrow is just Warriors Nuggets, Bucks Bulls. I remember because I saw the schedule earlier today while there was a game going on. They showed the schedule for tomorrow's games, and it was Warriors Nuggets, Bucks Bulls. Both the Warriors and the Bucks have opportunities to close out their series, and both of those teams are the ones I have making it to the finals. So hopefully they could just finish up their series, so my predictions aren't wrong. So that'd be great. But yeah, that's all I really have to talk about for the rest of this video. I'm not gonna make it too long. I'll just end it here. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, share, comment down below tips, tricks, or topics you want me to talk about on this channel. I got an Instagram now, by the way. It's Speedy City YouTube. I'll put that in the description. Should I put the link? I don't know if I should put the link. I might put the link, but chances are probably not. But yeah, I'll put the in the description. So if you have Instagram, go over to Instagram, put in Speedy City YouTube, no spaces, no other things, just no uppercase, just Speedy City YouTube, and you'll find me. It's the Raptors logo, just like my logo. So you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.